Hello everyone, I am More To Me for Life, and riding shotgun or in the navigation seat is Tigress.
Hello!
Now if she can just not spaz. Alright, we are back. As I said, we would come back to RimWorld, but I had been doing a lot of experimenting so I could actually bring you something that was... I don't know what you're doing. So I could actually bring you some answers to my first video, and I have actually got a lot of answers. I have showed them a quick pan of the whole area of what we've got.
Of what you got?
To back up and show them the whole thing. Alright, this place is gotten pretty good size, and I have done a lot of tearing down and wasting wonderful resources to try and figure out some of the things that I was having issues with when I first started. So, where the tutorial left off, we're going to go through some random, and I do mean absolutely, oops, this one, random things that I came up with while I was at work when I was supposed to be working.
Please don't fire her.
If you work with me, you'll understand. Anyway, well, while I was working, yeah, that's the way we will go with it. While I was working, and I started having brainstorms about some of the things that I had learned and some of the things that I could cover during this video. Back out, we can hear the crickets.
I'm sorry.
I came across quite a few items, even some that weren't even covered during my hating the tutorial section. And so here we go. These are completely random. I had a little bit too much caffeine, possibly. So, yeah, we're just going to try and make do, because there's no way the messes on the sheet of paper is ever going to become a coherent line of thought. Okay, first off, what did that one mean? Okay, my biggest question is, why weren't they using the paste dispensers? I had seen videos, especially some of the alpha versions of this, where the settlers would use the paste dispensers, and I knew that the thing had to be connected to the electricity. But what I did not understand was, first off, there are no bonuses, and there are no people that I know of. I haven't seen anybody with an interest in liking the food paste, which means if you actually put a full kitchen, scooch down here to the zoom in on the kitchen thing. If you put these little kitchen areas down there and they have food to make something with it, they will go to this kitchen rather than the food paste machine, which actually fully makes sense. You would want to make a meal out of it that actually has some flavor instead of making food paste. So there was one instance where I didn't have enough people cooking and people started using the food paste machine, which was interesting because it told me I needed to change some of my lineup. Okay, another thing, changing storage types. Click on one of our storage areas. The actual storage, there we go. Alright, now up here where it says storage, you can see that there's a lot of things you can click and unclick to change what's supposed to go in here. The best way to handle this, don't click anything.
I'm not.
Okay, the reason for this is you can actually assign what you want where you want it. If you don't want corpses in certain rooms, turn the corpses off. If you want plants in certain rooms, turn the plants on. And you can also change it for certain types of metals, certain types of, if you want armor, if you want guns. All these things can be changed in that tab. That was one issue I had whenever assigning what I wanted where. But that's where that tab is. Let's see. Making hospital beds, and prisoner hospital beds. This was not fully explained, it just said make a prisoner bed. It never told you how. So Evie, if you wouldn't mind clicking on a bed. On a bed. And if you'll see down here in the bottom corner, it says reinstall build a copy for prisoners, medical, and set an owner. Set an owner is really helpful whenever you have couples that get married. You can make the double bed and set the owners as the married couple. Or if you have a character that has become bonded to one of the animals, you can figure out where the animal sleeps and assign that bed to the person who has bonded with that creature, because they get a bonus for it. An emoji bonus, or however you want to say it. But you can set it for prisoners, you can set it for medical, and you can set a medical bed for your prisoners. If you wouldn't mind going up to our prison.
The camel just came over here and ate a potato plant.
They do that. As you can see, this one is a prisoner bed, and the other one is a prisoner medical bed. And the reason why I did this is so that whenever we kidnap somebody, they heal faster. And that makes it a whole lot easier because they're wasting less of our resources trying to heal them. Next, let me see. Oh, the dog beds. I did not realize that each one of these beds inside our inventory are different sizes. If you do not have the proper size bed for the creature you want to sleep in there, they will not sleep in it. They will not heal. So make sure if you have a larger animal, you either use the sleeping spots or the big pillowed ones. But the box beds are just for the smaller creatures. None of the bigger ones will sleep in it. Oh, and they will climb in the bed and heal themselves, and whoever you've got as a doctor will automatically bring them stuff if you assign them to do so. Let's see. To raise relations with factions. Oh, with the faction bar, which is kind of new if anybody hasn't played the newer release of this. As you can see, I have 3 people that I'm in good with, and I've got 2 that really, really hate me.
Oh, yeah.
I started out with 2 that liked me and 3 that hated me, and I found out that if you capture what's going on? If you capture somebody and then you release them and they make it off of your map, then you get a bonus with them. And if this happens enough, you will actually get in good with these people, and they will come across your area and they won't attack you. Some of them will trade with you, and you can also call on them for help whenever you get your what?
I think the door just broke.
No, I think I took that door down. I got tired of them using it.
Well, a door somewhere broke. I don't know where it's at. Oh, here.
Anyway, whenever you put your trading beacon in, you'll be able to use it to trade with those folks as well. Let's see. Okay. Speaking of the trading beacon, you want to go to the trading beacon? We can fix doors and crap like that later. Down to the trading, down. Okay, there we go. Alright, this trading beacon, I did not realize without looking through the tutorial information that it didn't actually tell me. You have to have a storage area next to your trading beacon in order to trade with. Whenever I first started out, I didn't have anything to trade with. It will show all of your creatures, and it'll show you whatever's in the storage building next to your trade. So, put some silver there, and maybe if you make some really nice sculptures, put them there if you want to trade with those. But make sure you have that storage area, and you can assign what goes into that storage building with that storage tab.
There's a chicken!
Let's see. Windmills and current. If you would not mind clicking on the windmill. Alright, you notice that there's a large box in the front and a smaller box in the back. That is the direction that it is actually going. These windmills cannot be placed in front of mountains, in front of walls. It will block them and make them where they're incapable of working. You can, however, put them over your crops, therefore saving space, and the crops will not get in the way. Yay! Yay! The flickering lights. If you have a poltergeist loose in your colony, which is what I have quite a bit of, your best bet is you're not producing enough electricity. I had so much electricity going through here, but I realized my wood generators were just not producing enough, and I completely took those out and went another way with them. But basically, the flickering lights is either you're going through some kind of solar storm, or you just don't have enough electricity. It's usually not, as far as I can tell, with all my experimenting, it has nothing to do with the direction or the layout of where you put your batteries, to your solar panels, to your, what is that called? I'm drawing a blank.
Geothermal.
Thank you.
Something or another.
The geothermal generator. To your windmills. It doesn't have anything to do with that relationship. I thought I was putting them in the wrong order. No, I just didn't have enough. Okay, if you're looking to get more animals, and getting animals is a good thing, because if you wouldn't mind bringing up the animals tab. If you will notice
Dear God.
yes, we have a lot of animals.
You have a lot of chickens.
You can teach your animals different things, and what I try to do is make sure that I keep the ones that can also haul, which is this one, if you wouldn't mind highlighting these. That says haul. You can teach them how to haul. Those are the best ones to keep. The ones that can also protect, that can be released. Those are the ones you want to keep for fighting. What I do not recommend is keeping any boomalope in your colony at all. Because whenever there's a fight, if someone goes berserk or whatever, that boomalope will explode. And do not try to rescue a mad boomalope, because when you bring it inside to try to tame it, it will explode.
Boom.
I learned this the hard way. Yes, it will explode.
I hit her in the head by accident.
Okay. You can buy animals from passing merchants. You can also have some of them the longer. Yeah. He's cutie. After you've been there a while, a lot of the animals will self-tame to you. There was one time I had so many animals, I had no idea how I was going to produce enough food. Now I've got hay everywhere because at one time I just could not keep them fed. Well, what I didn't realize, because I had it panned all the way back.
Of hay.
Yes, I had it panned all the way back. I had no idea why I did not have enough food. When I zoomed back in, I realized there were these little yellow specks everywhere in my colony. We had chicken pox. The chickens had produced without me paying attention to them very much, and I had 40 chickens, baby chicks, chickens of various sizes everywhere. As soon as the next person came in, I do have quite a bit too. But I continue to let them produce because not only do they give me eggs, but the next time a trade caravan comes through that works with the animals, I can sell them. And the price is okay. But I don't mind things being self-tamed. I try not to slaughter them if at all possible. I try to sell them because it makes more money, obviously. But be careful about selling an animal that has been fully trained, because first off, you just wasted someone's time, and secondly, if they've been bonded, because then your colonists will get a negative emoji, meaning like -5 or something like that, and that could contribute to them going berserk or doing something stupid, like drug binges or food binges.
You got a character that did that one time. Which one was it?
Frog. Every time something crazy goes on, he gets into whatever stash we have. It doesn't matter what it is.
Oh, you mean the guy I was messing around with earlier? There he is.
Yeah. Okay.
I was zooming in and out on him.
Assigning priorities. Go to assign. Alright, these, you can go change their outfits. The only ones I'm really worried about changing their outfits are the people I used for the soldiers. Those I definitely wanted to be sure, and not to mention it was made it easier to find them up in my list at the top. Show the list at the top.
What list?
This just span here. Yes. We are eventually going to get this down, folks. Up here in that list, I can look at them and see which ones have the chess pieces, and I know automatically, and I just lost Naomi, and I'm very, very upset that she's gone, because she was the best one. But anyway, I can pick them out of the lineup and send them to be my front line. So assigning them clothes to help you figure out who is who, that way it's easier to grab. And then, what is it, restricted work. Okay, in the restrict section, this section is very, very important for keeping your people happy. Make sure you assign them a time for joy. Make sure you assign them a time for work and a time for sleep. Pay very close attention, because you will have a couple of night owls, and if you have them sleeping on the wrong schedule, it will make them very unhappy, which of course you would understand. If someone made you work at night and you usually would be up during the day, you'd be kind of pissy too. So there's not enough coffee in the world for that. Oh, and work assignment. And this one I would definitely recommend putting it on manual instead of allowing it to auto-assign priorities, because you'll never get anything done. Go through here, take the time to figure out who is best at what, and assign them to it. As you get more people, you can have them specialize. And I'll get more into that when we actually start a full playthrough. But that is my first recommendation on that, because it was not covered in the tutorial. Not fully. Just remember, 1 is the highest priority, 4 being the least priority, and if it's not marked at all, they're not going to do it. Oh, if you assign a whole bunch, and this is really easy to do at the very beginning of a build, is to assign a whole lot of things to be hauled off. If for some reason you see that the things have been sitting there for a very long time, check out your storage area to make sure it's not full. I sat here for, I don't know, a week game time, trying to figure out why they weren't moving things, and it's because my storage area was completely full. I tried to figure out why they weren't... I can hear the crickets.
I like crickets.
but
somebody's supposed to be cleaning stuff up. Somebody puked.
But they can hear it twice, from that and then from that speaker. But anyway, it's like there's a lot of crickets.
There's a lot of crickets.
There was one time I found out that people were not picking up the food. Food was not being produced, and it was because there was a whole bunch of raw food in my refrigerators. no room to put cooked food. And that's when the food paste machine started getting used. That's how I actually figured that out, because there wasn't enough room for them to start producing. They stopped producing them when they ran out of room to store them. Oh, setting bills. On every single one of these workbenches, you have to set a bill for it, if you wouldn't mind bringing those up. And you can tell them how often to cook it, how many to cook, what goes into it under details. Make sure that everything that you have, as far as a workbench goes, you have set some kind of bill on it. Even the crematorium, if you wouldn't mind showing the crematorium, which is absolutely awesome if you get tired of building graves, because I did really fast.
Where is that?
Right there. And there you go. Pull up the bills. And this is a great way to actually burn the corpses and burn the...
Burn drugs.
I had to do that because of Frog and his habits. We can't keep drugs in our settlement and sell them for really good prices because we have a binger, and he will kill himself if I don't hold his hand. So,
Tap one hand.
just smack the crap out of him. Alright, we already covered all of that. In the older versions of this, the only way to save someone from a berserk rage is to arrest them. Nowadays, all you gotta do is walk over there and knock them in the head and then take them to your medical bay. You don't have to arrest them. If you do arrest him or her, you will have to go through the whole process of trying to win them over like any other prisoner. And in some cases, that could be very, very hard. So if you just knock them out, preferably without killing them, and take them to your med bay when they wake up, they will be fine.
So choose somebody with a blunt weapon or hand-to-hand combat.
Exactly. Because it is actually truly sad when someone goes berserk and actually kills their bonded animal, because that drives them absolutely bonkers. And then, if they have other bonded, if they have other bonded animals, and the berserker gets killed somewhere in there, that bonded animal will turn manhunter on you. It happened to me with a panther, and oh my gosh, that panther lit through my whole colony. It was not even fun.
Yeah.
Alright, and I am a full-fledged cheat when it comes to this game. If something happens, I will go to my last save to try and save somebody. I tried 5 times to bring Naomi back, but every single time she died, and she died worse each time. So finally I was just like, okay, let her go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Okay. Also, I tried about 7 times to try and save my colony from malaria, and every time it got progressively worse. More people got it, and then I finally had enough when they got malaria and plague at the same time. How does that happen? Here are my tips with dealing with a plague survivor. Anyway, if they come down with malaria or they come down with plague, do not allow them to get up to work. Unassign them from everything and strictly assign them to a bed. Do not allow them to get up and walk around. First off, they will spread it. Secondly, they can work through the first couple of stages, but they make each other worse. They have to build up...
Somebody's gotten food poisoning.
That doesn't surprise me. The longer they stay in the bed, the faster they will build up an immunity. If they're not in the bed, they're not building an immunity. So they might feel okay, and they might be out there picking crops and smelling daisies, but they're done. And they will die or pass out outside the colony, then you have to spend time to go get them. And there's a chance that the person who went to get them will catch it. So, if you have malaria or a plague outbreak, assign them to a bed and don't let them get up. It doesn't matter how much they want to get up, and assign a doctor to them to help them. The malaria drug only prevents malaria. It will not stop it once it's in their system. They have to beat it on their own. Okay, those are my pointers for that, because so far that's all I know about that part. It's only happened once. I did find out that, say you start out a save and you want to do, okay, say right now where my colony is, I would say we do okay. We don't really lose a whole lot of people. It happens occasionally when something catches me off guard. But say you've gotten so bored, you're not really doing anything with your colony anymore. You can turn the
Combat's flare.
You can turn your storyteller to a different storyteller. You can bring up the, go to menu, and options, and choose Storyteller. You can bring up the challenge rating in the middle of a game and take it back down if it starts becoming too much. So if it becomes, try boosting it up. If it gets to where it's overwhelming, take it back down a notch and give yourself a chance to build back up to it. Okay.
I usually choose this person, then she's base builder.
Well, I like the first one. I like to build. I want to see everything that's inside this. I wanted to know what all the researches were. Okay, close out. I think my biggest problem with this particular build is I built up a whole lot of stuff not knowing all the things I would unlock, which means I had no idea really to where to put stuff. I had a great idea, and then something new would get unlocked, and I was like, I didn't even consider that. So there was a whole lot of redoing electrical stuff, redoing the electricity, moving things around, and then we got chicken pox and food disappeared, and oh my goodness, I'm on easy and build mode, and things got crazy just because my chickens went crazy. So
these are boomalopes. Don't let them into your settlement.
Yes, those are boomalopes, in case you don't know. They will acclimate to you, and they will self-tame, and they will come in there, and they will be all cute, and then they will explode. And they will take things out with you. Oh, in case you have any problems with fires around your territory, as you can see, mine's built inside a mountain, so it's hard for things to get it from the outside, but from the inside, I do have lightning storms that hit inside, and the occasional boomalope that I can't say no to. Sandbags do protect you from the fire progressing, so that's something else.
And it's very fast for them to build them.
Yeah, it doesn't take quite that much, but I never understood why it took steel. I really don't understand that. And also, the food that is produced inside the hydroponics area will give you more food faster than it would in the ground. So keep that in mind when you decide to do the research. I am going to expand on all of this, and we're going to take it chunk by chunk by chunk as we break it all down. But that is like an info dump of things I have learned.
Drop the mic.
Okay. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down in the section, and if I don't already know, I will experiment with this particular town because this is kind of my experiment town now.
God help them.
Poor people. The only thing I have not tried is building a spaceship.
Somebody's giving birth!
Who? Who's having a baby?
Muggle.
Oh, look at it!
Oh my god! It's so cute! I'm gonna follow him around.
He's so
Beavers.
adorable. Oh god. Oh, kill the beavers. They are horrible. They eat up all of your wood, and they are hard to
So we should kill them.
They are hard to kill, actually. Alpha beavers are very, very strong, and they don't seem like they should be. But they will come after you.
So what should we do about them?
I don't. Right now, I'm not concerned with that. You can pause it if you want to. Right now, they're not going to hit anything that's all that important.
But these are the beavers.
Okay.
They're not that actually far away.
For my next video, I think I'm just going to start out with just... My bad. Anyway, for the first video, I think I'm just going to start out with teaching the basics, like how to choose where you should put a settlement and for what kind of difficulty you should choose that settlement for. And we are going to take this a little bit by a little bit, and we're going to slowly build our own colony. I would like to take over an entire map. I think that would be absolutely outstanding. So, we will see you next time for this next video. I'm thinking probably just in a couple of days. It shouldn't be too hard to set that up unless you've got some ideas on things you want me to experiment with this particular build, because right now it's pretty much set up where I don't have to do anything to it. If there's like an object you want me to place down and just see how it interacts, like my current question is whether or not batteries can store energy from the wood burners. I haven't tried that. Every time I've stuck a wood burner down, it screwed up my electricity, so I took them out. So I'm thinking about out to the side, putting in a wood burning thing and putting a battery and just seeing whether or not it'll charge it. Because I don't know. Questions?
This is your main game, so
Yeah, it's
I've
my
kind of
main
been
game.
silent the entire time.
It's my main game. But, yeah. we shall go now and let these people rest. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You have to go get very much.
A wonderful evening. And a wonderful 5 o'clock somewhere. Bye.